So everyone's got a beer, everyone's happy, and do I need this? Can I speak loud enough?
Yeah.
Cool. Use the mic? Yeah. So I've been asked to use the mic because everyone likes the sound of my voice. So my topic is on SEO tools and software. So basically these are tools that I use in my everyday job and my side consulting projects, and basically I try to make my life easier by automating certain tasks if possible. So this was all based on an article I wrote on Flipper last month. So typically there's probably 4 main reasons I use an SEO tool for. The primary one is to evaluate the backlinks of a site or a domain, to track social shares and social engagement, particularly across content marketing, track, website reviews in terms of how they've improved or degraded their SEO, and also research competitors. And the final one, which is the one everyone wants to know, is how to track Google search rankings better. And typically the reason why I use SEO tools is you want to save more time, and the main thing is, the reason why you want to save more time is you can spend more time in your client projects. So some of the tools which I like to use around evaluating backlinks, Link Detox. So this is actually a really cool tool because if you've actually got a subscription to Link Research Tools, it costs about €1 each time you run it for a domain. So the great thing about this particular platform is you can quickly and easily evaluate potential link opportunities to see if they've got potentially toxic links. If you're looking to purchase a domain on an expired or dropped auction, or if you're looking to buy a website, you can evaluate what's the chance that their site is going to be eligible to hit by a Penguin update, or they've kind of got a house of cards because they've got a lot of sketchy paid links. As I said, if you do have a subscription to Link Research Tools, it costs about €1 for every domain you run. And it's a fairly cool tool, gives you a lot of data and insight. We can see here in the screenshot, so basically I've run it on one cover, which is an insurer. Basically they lost, I think, about 50 or 60% of their organic search visibility during the recent Penguin updates. We can see there's a large portion of their links which this tool has identified as suspicious. So if you're the SEO manager for one cover, you probably want to be a bit concerned if you've got such a high portion of your links that this tool flags as suspicious. So these are things which are typically are likely to be paid, likely to be possibly spamming, or Google will pick up through a quality index by manual search reviewer or by its algorithm that's not natural. The other alarming fact is 6% of the links are also toxic. So these are typically websites that are linked to malware, and these are definitely not the type of links you want going to your site. It offers a lot more breakdown in detail. So you can look across here. So they now rate the type of links. So they look at links in regards to moderate risk, very risky, or low risk. So the advantage of these types of tools is you can obviously run them regularly to start to understand how you're performing compared to your competitors, so you get a bit of a baseline. But also you can start to understand why you might be penalised or got a manual penalty from Google. One of the other cool tools which I actually do like using occasionally, it's a little bit more expensive as you sort of step up the levels. Basically they limit the amount of crawls you can do based on the pricing structure you're on. So basically you pay less, you get slower results. But it's got a lot of features in this tool. You've got link juice, competitive link velocity, so you can see how quickly your competitors are building links. You can find missing links. You can find pages that may be, losing page rank because they're not redirected or resulting in 404 errors. And the other advantage is you can recover lost pages. So if you have to do a lot of on-site activity and you want to quickly identify what are the quick wins where you can implement through 301 redirects, there's tools like SEO, Link Research Tools that can quickly crawl a site and give you a lot of good insights that you can put into a report and give to your client that are fairly actionable. Also, they offer a day pass, so if you just want to do a quick audit, like your client's rung you up, saying, look, we just need a quick audit, we need to talk about SEO, but I want to know how much it's going to cost, this tool's pretty good. It's also got other cool features such as quick domain compare. So what we can see here, looking across different types of travel sites, so we're looking at Qantas, Flight Centre, Webjet and Expedia. So the advantage of this particular platform, it allows you to do quick analysis and produce fairly quick and I guess pretty looking reports to present to clients. So that's one tool I guess we use a lot. We probably don't use as much as we can, but it takes in about 22 different sources of links. So when Jason talked before about you take data from here, here and here, then you put it into Excel and you manually kind of match it up. This tool actually brings it all in automatically and gives you a nice little report. One of the other tools which I've been using for a fair while, actually I have to disclose I'm an ambassador for Majestic, but they actually do have a free account. So I've been using that since about 2010, and it's a tool that I typically use when I'm doing large audits. So most of the time I guess I'm not using it in terms of all their reports, but I do find I use it on a day-to-day basis, because the advantage of Majestic SEO, unlike other platforms, it allows you to look at a historic index of links to a site. So the benefit of that is if you're looking to buy an expired site, or you're looking to buy a site on Flipper, and you kind of want to understand what skeletons they might have in their closet, you can use tools like Majestic SEO, and even the free version, to quickly get an understanding of what the historic link profile looks like. So that means even if someone's gone through and cleaned up their links, disavowed links, you can still pick up these types of issues. And yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. It's got a free API you can get access to. It's got the ability to compare different sites. You can check the neighborhood. So typically if you're paranoid that your client has picked very cheap hosting and you think it's affecting their rankings, you can use their neighborhood checker to see what other sites are hosted on the same server. Obviously you can bulk check backlinks. You can also see, I guess, what other sites are potentially link to your client you don't want noticed, and also identifies when the link was originally found and when it was removed. So it's a fairly good tool for understanding what's happening with your link profile. So I just took a couple of screenshots if we go through. So we've picked drive.com.au, which is obviously a fairly competitive space in Australia. So it's buying and selling used cars online. And we're just looking at, I guess, the basic site explorer. So even in the free version, you get a lot of this data. So for a lot of these tools, if you're saying you don't have enough money to buy every tool under the sun, a lot of these tools do offer a free version, so there's no reason why you can't use it. So for this particular site, we get a number of links pointing to the site, we get a number of government domains, education domains, so we get a lot of good data for a very top level overview of why the competitor might be ranking. It's got a lot of tabs you can flick through. We can start looking at the backlinks, we can start looking at the anchor text, you can filter it down. So as Jason talked about, you can identify how many links they have around their money terms. We can also look at the referring domains report, so we can see where they're getting the links from, even look at flow metrics, so that's sort of the trust. So how much Majestic has evaluated that particular domain is trusted as a link source. One of the cool things is you can actually look at referring domains by location. So typically if you outsource a lot of your SEO and it's done by overseas countries, you'll find a lot of your links will come from, I guess, the US and typically Eastern Europe. So this is a good way of identifying if you had a lot of outsourced done in the past, have there been bad links built from outside Australia, and when your core market is only Australia. If you're an Australian business, the majority of links should only be coming from Australia. You shouldn't have a lot of links from .com websites and Eastern Europe. Also, it offers a lot of insights in terms of what your top pages are. So the advantage of these types of reports is if you want to identify what page you could focus on in terms of adding internal links to pass more page rank through your site. Also, you can also identify what pages might have a lot of page rank, but it's actually maybe a dead page or a 404 error. And we can see here, their second most important page in terms of strength is actually a page that has a campaign URL in place. So they're actually wasting a lot of their good inbound links by not setting up their Google Analytics properly. There's a lot of other stuff, so we can look at the trust. So these are all things which relate typically to Penguin. So if you've got suspicious links, you're more likely you've been hit by Penguin. So there's hundreds of reports they've got. There's a lot of data you can drill into, but I just thought I'd cover some of the top issues. Another thing here, you can quickly compare domains. So in regards to a lot of these SEO tools, you use them to make your life easier and speed up analysis. So a lot of the time you might only run these reports every quarter, but they're simple and they have a lot of data. Here's obviously another report they've got. So this is good if you've got a new client or new project on board and you just want to visualize where their links are coming from. So they've got the click hunter. So they've got a lot of ways you can visualize your data. You can compare other sites. So Majestic is obviously a tool. As I said, I don't use a lot, but it's definitely something a few people should try. As I said, it's got a free version. Another cool tool which I actually started using last year is Linkerd. So basically, this is a hosted platform. It starts at about $5 a month. There's also a free version, but it's a good tool for monitoring new inbound links that have been built to your website. It also crawls your links 24 hours a day, so it often picks up links before you even know they've been built. Another tool which I've been using a fair bit is actually Moscheck. So there's a hosted version of this tool which you can buy once off, but it enables you to bulk check a whole lot of URLs to identify PageRank, Alexa, Facebook shares, LinkedIn shares and tweets. So the advantage of this is when I talked before about mining your competitors' content marketing activities, you can use Screaming Frog. You can run through a crawler, take all the URLs from their website, drop them into this site and see which of these particular pages are getting the most social shares. So as I said, a lot of these tools, they do have a free version, but I use a hosted version because it offers a lot more data. How's everyone going? Any questions so far? Am I going too fast, too slow?
Just can you expand on the hosted version?
Okay, sorry. So the hosted version is basically a version that it will sit within your server. So it uses your own server resources, you link to your own SEO Moz API, and it means all the resources are yours. So if you use their version, you may have to wait for other people to run their reports, and it runs a bit slower. One other tool which I obviously use for monitoring links is Advanced Link Manager. The reason why I use this particular tool, and I've been using it about 6 years now, is because it's desktop based. So the problem is a lot of these other tools, they're great, but they all require a connection to the internet. So if you're sitting at work one day and someone decides to forget to pay the internet bill or breaks the router, you can still access a lot of your data. The other advantage is when you're on the road, when you're sitting in a client's office, if you're using tools like Advanced Link Manager, because it's desktop based, you can quickly and easily get a snapshot of what their competitors are doing in terms of the backlinks. So I definitely advise using these types of desktop tools just because they free you from the internet. One of the things we already touched on, Open Site Explorer, you can run up to 3 queries a day for free, but it comes free with an SEO Moz subscription. This is the tool which I use once again on a daily basis when I'm checking what links are what domains are due to expire, which I may want to purchase due to their backlink profile. One of the other things which is important, particularly around content marketing, is what content you're producing within your site or off-site that's actually getting social shares. So I thought I'd cover a couple of tools to track social media. So one cool tool here is actually Shared Count. The reason why I use this tool, it's free. There's a bulk upload feature. We can add multiple URLs, and if you've got a programmer in your office, they do actually have an API. So there's no reason why you can't use a lot of these tools, because as I said, this particular one is free. Another one which is actually pretty cool, the only advantage of Shared Count, it only does individual URLs. So that's why I typically use Social Crawl Analytics. So basically this enables you to put in a domain, a page or a subfolder and run a crawler through the site and identify all the social shares. So it will also display who's your top author. So the advantage of that is if you run a site and you have a lot of people contributing, you can use this tool to understand who you want to reward for being such a great supporter of your content and producing the best content. Again, it's free. You can buy more credits if you want, or you can tweak for I think an extra 2,000 credits. So this is a great tool. It's a crawler, so it picks up every URL across your site. If you've got a lot of money, this is pretty cool, but I think it's out of the price range of most people. So it's from about $3,000 a month. It's a data sift. So someone's got a lot of data, and you have to compare a lot of statistics. You want to overlay trends. You want to look at historical Twitter data. Like you run a pub and you want to see how things are trending in South Melbourne. You can get a lot of this data. You can get things across Facebook pages, Google Plus business pages. There's a lot of really enterprise level stuff. But if you work for a large agency, it might be worthwhile looking at some of these platforms to get a deeper understanding of who's sharing your content, who's sharing the links, and yeah, it's only it starts at 3K. Just sort of touch on some of the tools which I typically use for website reviews and research. So one of the ones which I like is Seo Tools for Excel. So this tool is actually pretty cool because it enables you to do all your research within Excel. So this is the advantage is you don't have to cut and paste everything. You can drop the URLs in straight out of Screaming Frog, and then you can set this tool to start crawling for data. It links into tools like Majestic Seo, social analytics, Google Analytics, so you can draw in a whole lot of really great insights straight to Excel with a single click. Also, it's pretty much free, and you can make a donation if you want. But yeah, it's definitely something you should be using, and it is a very cool tool. The other thing, it is slow if you do use too many URLs to check it once. Another tool which I've actually just started using recently again is Raven Tools. I used to use it a couple of years ago, but the reason why I've started using it again is because we were looking at different platforms such as BrightEdge, and we found that there's tools like Raven Tools that actually do, I guess, a lot of the functionality, such as automated checkers, bringing in Webmaster tools. Actually, they've got the new tool which is like the Site Auditor. So basically what this does, it automatically crawls your website and looks for problems in regards to meta tags, schema, duplicate content, images, broken links, page load time. So there's no reason why you can't be running these types of tools in the background and getting on with your business and speaking with your clients and doing your job. So I definitely recommend, I think they've even got a free 30-day trial. I've got my Raven Tools affiliate link, so feel free to use that. But yeah, as I said, there's a free 30-day trial, so if it doesn't work, cancel it. But yeah, for the Site Auditor and the fact that it has integration of Google Webmaster Tools to bring that data in, it's definitely something you should consider playing around with. Another tool which Jess has already touched on, which I won't touch on, Screaming Frog. It starts from about £99. Some of the stuff we always get asked about is how we track Google search ranking positions. So typically used to use SEO Moz, so this is their old platform. They've actually updated it. So this is the new look of the Moz dashboard. So it offers a lot more insight. It's got social data, it's got search data, it's got links, it's got brand mentions. It's got a lot of really cool data. They're currently in the beta phase of rolling out across all the clients. So you can go to their website and invite yourself to be added to the list. So I haven't actually had a chance to play with the final version, but I was one of the original testers of the beta version, and it does some really, really cool stuff. So it's definitely moving to a platform that enables you to do really cool analysis for your client without having to spend hours in Excel. And again, it's $99 a month, so get your clients to pay for it if you can't afford it. Again, another tool which I use is Advanced Web Ranking. So this is similar to Advanced Link Manager. It's got the same company, and again, this is a desktop version. So this tool runs on your PC. It doesn't require access to the internet, and actually allows you to do a lot more in-depth analysis. And if you want to speed up how quickly you do crawling, to scrape the data from Google, which is illegal, and Google doesn't like when you do it, but you can actually use proxies to gather your search ranking positions a lot quicker. As I said, it's $99, it's one-off, so you don't have to keep paying every month. So it's definitely a tool that most people should have. If you do have the subscription version, which I think is $99 a month, $99 a year, you get constant updates. So when people ask about what SEO tools I use, Advanced Web Ranking is a tool I've used since I started in SEO, and it's definitely proved its worth. If you do have a bit more money to play with, Authority Labs is another tool you want to play with. The only thing is, as some people in the room have tested, the dashboard within the standard version is pretty basic. But the reason why I use Authority Labs is it actually has a very powerful API. So if you have a programmer in-house, you can actually use their power and their crawlers to scrape Google's index and import it directly into whatever platform you use. So, for $49, it's definitely a good platform to play around with. It does have the advantage, it gathers a lot of data such as if there's local results showing, if there's Google News results showing, and it gives you a lot of insight very quickly on what's happening in search engine results. I think this is the final slide. So one other tool I just started playing around with recently is Colibri tool. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool because it's fairly cheap. It offers integration with analytics platforms, it offers insights and conversions and backlinks, and it's a cheap tool. So if you don't work for a big agency or you work for yourself, there's a lot of very cheap tools you can actually use to, I guess, automate some of your reporting. So yeah, if you want to read more details about some of these tools, head over to the Flipper, and I've got a bit more of a detailed guide as to why I use some of those tools and what I find the benefits of them. So thank you. And questions, please. Anyone? Yes, Nick.
This wasn't necessarily content related. I just noticed a bunch of people getting out notes. I was wondering if all these slides are actually going to be up for everybody just to get down there.
Yes, the slides will be on SlideShare. So we'll tweet out the links, share them on Google Plus and on Facebook. Yes?
If you're not tracking like certain keywords and you want to know the history, tracking history, is there anything that you know that we can use?
There is a few tools. The advantage of Authority Labs is they technically do have that data. So if it is a common keyword, I have seen it where I've added it and it's given me historical data. There's also a couple of tools like Majestic offers some insights, and I think SEM Rush. So there's a few tools that do capture that information. Also Google Webmaster tools. So Google Webmaster tools for your own client site will at least give you their historical rankings for the last 90 days. Yes?
If you were trapped on an island and only had to choose 3 of those tools for the next 12 months to survive, which 3 would you pick?
The one that doesn't use electricity.
Yeah, I'll have to use this one because it doesn't require internet. So I just have to...
You have to run the report though.
Yeah.
Majestic.
Yeah, I mean, I probably want to play with the new mods just because I haven't really played with it properly. So, I mean, that could probably keep me entertained. And I haven't used Raven as much as I should. And also Majestic, I haven't used as much as I should. So it'd probably be those tools. That's 4. I know that's cheating. Any other particular questions?
What country is .ps?
I think that's Portugal. I just like the short URL. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, like, come on, it's Meetups. I couldn't get Meetup. Sorry, Tim. Sorry. Any other questions for anyone?